Wrestling is back, and we've reached the home stretch of the conference schedule. And greet you this afternoon from Corvallis, Oregon. The ASU Sun Devils are in town to face the Oregon State Beavers. And hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you for spending part of it with us. JB Long, Ken Cherto, and Ken, right now the Bees are absolutely on fire. They've won 7 consecutive duels. Last night they racked up 50 team points in a win over Cal Poly, but that means a quick turnaround here today.
Yeah, they definitely have been wrestling well. They're looking good heading to the national duels next weekend. But as far as back-to-backs go, that's what Coach Jim Zaleski wants. He wants them to have to weigh in twice in a row, compete twice in a row, simulate the NCAA championship. And quote-unquote, Jim Zaleski wants it to make them tougher for the NCAAs.
Meanwhile, the Sun Devils are suffering through a bit of a losing streak right now, but they get stronger as the weight classes go up, and that means our heavyweight showdown should be pretty good.
Absolutely. At heavyweight, Levi Cooper for Arizona State is a full-size heavyweight, very physical on his feet, hard to score on. However, Chad Hanke, ranked number 4 in the country, has great single legs. He's a leg attacking machine. For Levi Cooper from Arizona State to win, he's got to stop those singles. He's got to ride hard, use his weight, slow down Chad Hanke. It'll be a great heavyweight matchup today.
Bees have won 6 in a row over the Sun Devils, but the all-time series split perfectly even at 17 apiece. So they'll break that tie here this afternoon at Gill Coliseum. The wrestlers take to the mat when we come back to Corvallis. Final duel of the regular season for Oregon State, and they seem to be peaking at the right time, both as a team and as individuals. They carry a top 10 national ranking, and 3 wrestlers have won 8 or more bouts in a row. We're going to start with the 174 weight class today. Rush Hall and Cody Weishoff, followed by 184. We'll see Kevin Radford and Brian Engdahl. The wrestlers already on the mat. Let's get started here. ASU and Oregon State, and the Sun Devils led by head coach Sean Charles in his 5th season, the Pac-12 Coach of the Year in 2011, and his counterpart over on the Oregon State bench, head coach Jim Zaleski, the reigning Pac-12 Coach of the Year in his 7th season with the Bees. With Ken Cherto, I'm JB Long. Glad you're with us on this Saturday afternoon for Pac-12 Wrestling. Looking ahead to the conference tournament in just a matter of days, both these teams vying for some seeding and some momentum, and we're off at 174.
Yeah, Rush Hall's right in there, JB. He went after a quick single in the first 5 seconds. Didn't keep it very long, though. Got stuck underneath. Potential stalemate right here. Neither wrestler is doing much.
Rush Hall, a sophomore from Hoover, Alabama, one of 3 Sun Devils in the lineup today, still looking for his first collegiate win.
Well, he's got a realistic chance here. This could be a close one right here. You know, 174 is one of the weaker spots for Oregon State. They're trying to figure out who to start at that weight. And talking to Coach Steiner, the assistant coach here at OSU before the duel, they're still waffling on who they want to decide who's going to be the man at the Pac-12 conference. So this is a critical opportunity for Cody Weishoff.
Effectively a live tryout, so to speak.
Very much so. Yeah, they want to see what he's got.
Looking for the first takedown of the bout. And he consolidates there for 2.
See what he's got on top here. He's riding so far kind of loose. Doesn't look like he wants to hold him down. I guess he's a takedown man. Rush Hall's going to go back in. He's taking the shot so far, but Oregon State's Weishoff scored him that nice go behind.
Hall gets a point for the escape, so it's 2-1. 3 minutes our first period, followed by a couple of 2-minute periods in the second and third.
Nice 2-on-1. Oh, he didn't stick with it. Weishoff's trying to decide what he wants to do. He hasn't really created much offense yet other than a sprawl and spin. Oh, there we go. He must have heard me. He's in deep on a head outside shot. He's got to get to a double. He's got to get his right hand across. He's almost got it.
There's his second takedown and a 4-1 lead.
Hey, Matt. Does that printer have to stay there?
The legs go in.
I don't know where you're going to put it. I just was wondering.
He's got the far arm. He could go guillotine or he could go ball and chain. Rush Hall's going to have to show something here. There's a back point count. You can see he's breaking that 45-degree angle. You notice the referee stops counting, but he didn't hold him at that 45-degree angle for 5 seconds. He's got a guaranteed 2 count, and now he's got him a little tighter. He's probably going to get a 5 count. So he's locked in at least 3 back points. He should have kept the leg in. He could do it again. This is one of the moves in wrestling where you can do over and over. Oh my, he's gonna get the same move and bully him over. Again, he needs to turn the head under. Cody Weishoff making a case for making the varsity lineup. Although Rush Hall clearly is overmatched here, and he kind of bounces around different weight classes. He's a little undersized at this weight class.
So back-to-back three-point near falls awarded, and it's a 10-1 lead for the senior from here in Oregon. Came in at 15-5 after accepting a forfeit on his senior nights less than 24 hours ago against Cal Poly. Move ahead to the second period at 2 minutes. Second period, and a look back at one of his 2 takedowns.
Nice head outside shot. He didn't drive across fast enough on the finish. Eventually, he worked his way across to the other leg and was able to finish for the 2 points. As soon as the hands went down, that was the 2.
Reversal there for Weishoff, and 2 more added to his total. You mentioned this effectively an audition for the Pac-12 championships. He was there a season ago, went 1-2 to finish in 5th place.
Yep, he's back to work with the leg. And interestingly, before the match, when I was talking to Coach Zaleski and Coach Steiner, I mentioned that both of them were really great leg wrestlers, but we hadn't seen a lot of legs out of some of their athletes this season. But here you're seeing Weishoff jump into the lineup and go to bat with legs. He's got 3 sets of back points with that hip over.
Near fall, 2 points.
2 awarded for the near fall this time around, and now 2 minutes of riding time in his favor as well, looking for the technical fall.
Wow, Rush Hall rolled over pretty easy there. We have the tech fall.
So a big early victory for Weishoff and the Beavs to set the tone at 174.
Nice, hips him over, turns the head, and there's the end of the match. He looks at the scoreboard, he says 15-point victory, game over. The fans are loving it, he's happy. Raising the roof.
Senior Weishoff improves to 16-5 on the season for head coach Jim Zaleski. Rush Hall for Arizona State falls to 0-3 early in his Sun Devils career. So here at 184, Kevin Radford for ASU. He carries the top 25 ranking. And Brian Engdahl, redshirt sophomore, steps in for Ty Vincent in Oregon State.
And for Brian Engdahl to stay in this match, he's got to get hands on Kevin Radford. He cannot stand in the open and give up the double. He's got to stay on that head, stay tight. Radford's the clear favorite here. He's very powerful and explosive. Sometimes he doesn't have the full gas tank to go the whole 7 minutes. He's in deep. Little scramble in there. Could have a good one here. This is an important position right here. Oregon State's got to stay solid. Wow, ankle pick. Underhook cross ankle pick right to the back. That opens the matchup for Kevin Radford. No back though. Oh, I thought he was going to give back. Just 2-0. No back points.
This is often Ty Vincent's 184 weight class for OSU. 5th-year senior captain. Controlled a narrow 5-4 decision over Cal Poly last night, but hurt his hamstring a little bit. Can we understand? Not able to go today.
Yeah, that's what Coach Zaleski mentioned. You know, nothing serious. If he had to go, he'd be good to go, but they're playing it safe here. It's disappointing, though. This was one of the marquee matchups potentially with Kevin Radford being a top 20 wrestler, NCAA qualifier, going up against Ty Vincent, you know, who's ranked in the top 20. They're both ranked around 20th. Could have been a good go. But hopefully here we'll see a good match with Brian Engdahl. Like I said, if he can keep it close going into the second or third, he might have a better fight chance. He got that takedown off the ankle pick a little quick.
Radford just picked up a couple more for near fall. Engdahl looking for the escape and has his first point. Engdahl's parents are both OSU grads, and he got 6 straight duels worth of experience midway through this season already in support of Vincent, so not uncharted territory for the redshirt sophomore. Lost to Boise State in a duel earlier this season, picked up a win against Stanford, did Engdahl.
Yeah, I was asking Troy Steiner about him when they made the switch and benched Ty Vincent. And you know, they like him. He says he's a hard worker, keeps improving. They like his attitude. You know, he might be a little overmatched here against Radford, but they were excited about the progress he's been making in general.
Out of bounds here, they'll go back to the center. Radford at 18-12 on the season. He's a returning NCAA qualifier at 184 for ASU.
Gotta like the hustle out of Engdahl. He ran back to center. Radford's backing up here a little bit, but Radford's got a good shot off that backup. Sometimes he'll lunge in on a reshot double. Right now it looks like he's resting, though.
Kenny may have seen Radford's previous match on the Pac-12 networks as the Sun Devil collects another takedown where he really tired as the bout went on, and perhaps Engdahl thinking that late in this match he might be able to make up some ground.
He's hoping.
Another escape point there. That's all he has against the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina, though.
Well, that was a nice shot, but he stopped. He has to get his feet to the opposite side. He's changed from a head outside. Too short a time for him.
Let's review the individual scoring procedures here in the dual format as Radford and Engdahl head towards their second period. We've already described a bit that 2 points are awarded for the takedown and the reversal. We've seen both 2 and 3 point near falls assessed already in our duel today, Ken.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen a lot of scoring. I mean, we've seen about every one of them sequences, except obviously riding time hasn't been a factor since it was domination. Technically, it was a factor, but it doesn't really matter. Then a close match, though, we'll fill you in. If there's ever a close match where riding time is going to be a factor, we'll let you folks at home know what's going on and show you that amount. A return to the mat. The Oregon State fans are losing 6-2 in this bout, but they're excited. It was a good return to the mat. This is Engdahl's best chance to ride hard, to wear down Radford. And he was unsuccessful in doing that.
And so an escape point for Radford to extend his lead to 7-2. Been a while since Oregon State lost as a team or even individually. They're coming off a shutout of Cal Poly last night here at Gill Coliseum. Racked up 50 team points. That was the most by a Beaver wrestling squad in a duel since January of 2010.
Yeah, to Oregon State's dominance is very impressive, but that's disappointing with Cal Poly being right in the heart of California, such a powerful wrestling state. Truly, California is one of the top few states in the country, and that program they're going to have to build, and I'm sure they're looking to do so and looking to work hard, get healthy, and perform better at the Pac-12 championships, but definitely not a pretty night for Cal Poly last night in the Gill Coliseum here. We've been in this position a couple times. He's got a cradle locked up. Arizona State's countered the cradle nicely, countered the high crotch nicely. He's got the cradle. Very good. This is reminiscent of Bubba Jenkins in the NCAA Finals pinning his opponent with the near side cradle where he jumped over to the side countering a high crotch. Very Bubba Jenkins-esque, but Oregon State battles out of there.
Radford gets the 3 near fall points but can't end it in the second. They'll go back to the center. 30 seconds remaining in the period.
Well, Radford's the real deal. He's got tremendous athleticism and some good moves. For him to be an All-American, he's going to have to be able to keep pace the whole match. And he kind of goes in spurts. He's got his opponent a little overmatched today, but against Oklahoma State, he definitely wore down. See, right, he's dominating athletically, then he just kind of loses it. He's running out of gas. He's going to be okay in this match. It's not going to be that close, but as a top 20 wrestler, you can't give up. You can't get fatigued in the middle of the match.
That's what you're sensing again here, much like we saw in the desert in Tempe against Oklahoma State, huh?
Yeah, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to sense it. You saw it pretty vividly. Everybody at home sees that. Let's see if he gets a second. He's looking at the clock. He saw that 6 seconds, said, I'm hanging out.
Wonder if he'll have enough in the third to maintain this bonus point advantage, or if Engdahl will be able to close the gap.
This was a nice jump over cradle. He countered the head outside shot, slapped the cradle on tight. Gosh, Brian Engdahl from Arizona State has got some nice leg attacks, but he stops after he gets in. He's got the finish. You wrestlers at home, just getting legs only half the battle. The key is how hard you finish, how effectively and technically correct you finish your takedowns.
Radford with a 10-point advantage as we begin the third. Engdahl looking for an escape point. Radford's one of a small handful of Sun Devil individuals that won at Iowa State most recently. He took a 10-9 decision, closing in on 20 individual wins in this his sophomore campaign.
Yeah, that's a big win for him against Iowa State. Wow, Engdahl's pushing the pace here. He's going after it. I like it. Now watch, he'll go out of bounds, but if he could drag him in, it'd be great for Oregon State. They should have kept, the toe went out to the gym floor. The Oregon State fans and coaches want a stalling call, which could be called soon. So the scoop here is Oregon State's got, he purposely put his foot out. Wow. That's almost unsportsmanlike. It happened pretty quick. It's hard to know for sure if he purposely did it. So he got a second win. He got that one takedown. He'll hang out, ride a little bit. Engdahl get a chance to get back up. Radford's not much of a rider. He'll just milk it a little bit here. Let's get some 10 seconds. He gets to catch his breath again, though. Engdahl run back to the mat. Let's see how long it takes Radford to get back in there. Coach is Sean Charles shooting back to the center. All right. I think he'll get away within 10 or 15 seconds or less. There you see Sean Charles looking on. He's disappointed his athlete's not able to go hard the whole time. Sean Charles was able to do that. He was a leg attack machine, and he could keep going and going. Same thing with assistant coach Lee Pritz and Brian Stitt, the other assistant coach for ASU. Those guys are goers.
Charles, a four-time All-American in the desert, two-time conference champion, the NCAA runner-up in 92 and 93, to your point, Ken.
Yep, and an Arizona native, three-time state champ and out of Tucson, and he just kept getting better and better in college under Bobby Douglas's tutelage. Bobby Douglas did some great things with his Arizona State program. As we look at the action, though, the obvious is occurring here. Radford's getting tired, Engdahl's closing the gap a little bit, but I mean, the individual bout scores, there's no doubt Arizona State's going to win. Now, he could get a takedown. If Engdahl can get a takedown, he could stop from getting major, which would be worth a team point for Oregon State.
Radford stands to pick up an extra point as this concludes with 1:21 of riding time in his favor. Engdahl's going to try and erase that, and also, as you pointed out, the major decision difference.
All right, so referee didn't give the. There it is. Now Engdahl's going to go hard. Let's see if Radford's got the gas tank to defend himself to get a major. I think he does. If he doesn't, it's not very good. If you could get up by 8 points and not defend yourself at the end, that's not so good. He's looking to finish this. Now he needs to pull it in. He needs to drag in, and he's just same situation as early, except that wasn't intentionally stepping out. But Engdahl's going to come hard. I believe he'll come hard now for these 8 seconds. Let's see what he's got. He'll probably go back into that head outside shot. Radford gets in. He's just hanging on. He doesn't even care to finish.
He will take the major decision, though. A bonus point, the first win of the day for Arizona State, and it comes at 184. So Kevin Radford improves to 19 and 12 overall. Brian Engdahl falls to 10 and 13, again stepping in for the nationally ranked Ty Vincent today for Oregon State in this weight class. ASU is going to have to forfeit 197 coming up next. That means the heavyweights are right around the corner. It's a top 25 showdown when we come back to Kiel Coliseum. Taking center stage here on the Pac-12 networks, Oregon State and Arizona State on the mats. Later tonight, though, it's a basketball doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock. Jordan Loveridge in Utah going to try and bounce back from a loss earlier this week in this very building. They're going to go down I-5 and try to hand E.J. Singler in Oregon their fourth consecutive loss. Then at 7, UCLA trying to tighten the conference standings. They host Washington State. Live coverage, a doubleheader today beginning at 5 on the Pac-12 networks. And back here with wrestling, a duel between ASU and OSU at 197. Jake Merideth for the Sun Devils still not feeling up to the task, and so they will forfeit this class. Taylor Meeks gets his 27th win of the season, and we won't get to see the 6th ranked wrestler in the nation in this class. So 6 more points added to Oregon State's team total. They'll take an 11-4 advantage into the heavyweights. Levi Cooper for ASU, Chad Hanke for the Bees.
Now, fans just tuning in, don't leave us. We got all the lightweights coming up. We got Oregon State's middleweights, which are nationally ranked. Mangrum, Sakaguchi, Pena. This dual meet started at 174, and we're just in heavyweight now into the 4th bout of the 10. So stick with us. The lightweights are coming up next.
Levi Cooper looking for his 20th win of the season. Leads the team right now in dual victories and points. The team's only All-American, doing so as a sophomore 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is one of Arizona State's chances for a victory, individual bout victory. However, they're up against Oregon State's 4th-ranked Chad Hanke. So Levi Cooper's got his work cut out for him.
And Hanke's won 13 matches in a row to build his ranking all the way up to number 4, the redshirt senior captain.
Yeah, I watched him at the Midlands tournament, and that's a huge tournament in Evanston at Northwestern University between Christmas and New Year's, and he lit it up. I mean, he was the champion. That's a huge tournament. That's a big confidence booster for him, and he's been rolling ever since, undefeated since then.
You're right, 5-0 in Chicago, unbeaten since. Last night, merely a forfeit as Cal Poly was unable to field a heavyweight, so really his first test of the weekend here, and it's up against Cooper.
He's got to get his feet moving and fake. Hanke's good at the sweep single. He's good at changing directions for a big nice. There was a little throw by, high single attempt. But Levi Cooper's a horse. Boy, that's some big, strong legs. Hanke's going to have to commit to getting an angle to finish on Levi Cooper from Arizona State.
He's competed at 3 different schools, has Cooper, starting with Portland as a freshman. Their program was cut, and he redshirted at CSU Bakersfield for a year before arriving in Tempe, where he's found a home.
Yeah, Levi Cooper is an Oregon native, was a successful high school wrestler here, but Oregon State had Clayton Jack, who was an All-American, so it was, at heavyweight. So he wasn't in a position to come here when Portland stopped wrestling. He ended up in California, didn't work out, but looks like it's working out well for him at Arizona State. The coaches think highly of him. Obviously, they're pleased with his All-American performance as a sophomore, but they're hoping that it wasn't a fluke and that he can get back on the podium this season.
Ken, in fact, Hanke took an Olympic red shirt last season while Clayton Jack patrolled those heavyweight mats for OSU and finished 4th at NCAAs.
Yep, Hanke definitely has improved. That Olympic red shirt year, he was training with some of the elite wrestlers in our country trying to make the Olympic team, and he was one of the top 8 or 10 at that 213-pound, that up light heavyweight division. They keep changing, 211, 213, but in any case, here at heavyweight, he's grown into a full-size heavyweight.
Maybe his signature win of the season came during OSU's duel at Cornell. He single-handedly won the meet for his team and gave them a 23-20 upset victory. Get a look at the team scoring rules. 6 points have already been assessed for a fall and a forfeit in this case. Technical foul we've seen in OSU's favor as well. That gets 5, and a major decision we saw from Kevin Radford and ASU, amounting to their 4-point total so far in the team standings. Look around Gill Coliseum here. The mats rolled out for the 2nd day in a row, and Oregon State trying to keep their 7-duel winning streak alive, this time against Arizona State.
Yeah, there's only about 1,000 fans here right now. It's kind of spread out in here. This is a big competition day for Oregon high schools, and there's a lot of youth tournaments too. It's a busy day on the circuit. A lot of times, Friday night college duels and Sunday college duels can get some good turnouts. Like next Sunday, the national duels, 1st and 2nd rounds are here at Oregon State. It's going to be some exciting wrestling. Virginia Tech, Oklahoma University, Michigan, as well as Oregon State will be going 2 dual meets Sunday at 1 o'clock. So you fans of wrestling, check it out. Make plans to get down here to Corvallis, support the NWCA national duels. That's the single leg that Hanke's good at. The head inside sweep single. Everybody knows it's coming. Only a handful of heavyweights can stop it. Levi Cooper's trying unsuccessfully.
2 for the takedown.
When he gets the other ankle, that's the end. That's the key criteria to finish. You go from 1 leg to 2. Once you control 2 ankles, it's game over. Now, the Oregon State staff wants them to hold Cooper down. This will be a big challenge for Hanke to hold Levi Cooper down for 30 seconds.
Let's go, Chad!
Here we come. He's tripoding. He needs to get hand control on the way up. Right now would be Cooper's time to get hand control. Good tactic by Hanke. Cooper was almost out, but Oregon State's Chad Hanke went back in on a single leg to keep him down. A little bit stalling by Oregon State here. This is, wow, good riding tactic. And he's going to have the ride out. Kudos to Oregon State for finding a way to hold the big man down for those last 30 seconds. Could not escape. To escape, you have to totally break control, and he was unable to get away, so there was no escape because Hanke went back in on the legs very effectively.
Ken, to your prior point about Friday nights being rocking here in Gill Coliseum, it was very much the case last night against Cal Poly as the Bees honored a handful of seniors, including Chad Hanke. And this senior group for head coach Jim Zaleski has amassed a combined total of 333 victories.
very impressive tally. Good recruiting class. They developed him well. Yeah, Levi Cooper's coaches wanted him to try to ride harder. One of their goals was to win the mat wrestling, and he didn't keep him down. He didn't keep him down very long. Less than 30 seconds, Chad Hanke was able to escape from Levi Cooper. So we're going to find out in this next minute and a half if Levi Cooper has any offense. I mean, here's a chance. He's a big boy. He's nothing to lose. He's got to be aggressive and try to get a high leg attack of some sort against Chad Hanke.
Final minute, Hanke looking for his 14th consecutive dual victory. Matchup of top 25 heavyweights here. Inside a minute to go.
Chad Hanke has no responsibility to dive under there. He gets to hang out and hold his ground. Lee Pritz, the Arizona State assistant, wants Levi Cooper to press the action more. He wants him to get on the high single. He's trying to be responsive. That's what the Arizona State wrestler needs to do. That was not a good idea. Diving at the ankle, diving under is not the idea. At the heavyweight class, you want to go high leg attacks. Good, safe stuff. Oh, look at that. Somebody was moving out of the way quickly.
Sakaguchi got out of the way of the heavyweights. He's still got work to do today.
Yeah, a little warm up for him. Forget catching him. Just get out of the way. Oh, my. Levi Cooper is not showing anything here.
Hanke will ride this out, and the 4th rated heavyweight in the nation extends his winning streak to 14. Coming up, we loop around to 125, a chance to introduce an exciting OSU freshman. Through 4 weight classes, Oregon State by 10 over Arizona State, and you see the national ranking next to the Beavers' name right there. Depending on which service you use, depends on the number that appears, but right now in the top 10. And Oklahoma State, a program we saw down in Tempe a couple of weeks ago, defeat these Sun Devils, currently leading the way. How about OSU's chances both individually as we look ahead to the Pac-12 tournament and beyond?
OSU Okie State or OSU Oregon State?
Well, I think we know what Okie State has going on. Haven't seen them firsthand, but also now for Joey Palmer and Oregon State.
Yeah, Oregon State's got a great chance in the national duels. Like I said, they got Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, Michigan coming in here. That's a huge event next Sunday, the NWCA national duels. If they can win on the home floor here, the home mat, they can get to nationals.
What a change of pace as we loop around from heavyweights to the 125s, Palmer and Dalton Miller.
That was an awesome scramble, and Palmer is a scrambler. And talking to Jim Zaleski before the match, he's excited about Joey Palmer's development. He has been in every match this season, close matches but one, and he's very competitive, and he literally, Coach Zaleski likes his ability to scramble. There you saw it right there. Dalton Miller got in a scramble, and he couldn't keep pace with Joey Palmer.
Palmer was involved in the most competitive match last night. Trailed Britton Longmire 4-2 of Cal Poly after the first period. Rallied, though, for an 8-6 overtime victory to help the Bees maintain their shutout.
We're going to see some scramble. This is exciting. I like seeing the lightweights. You know, these guys are getting after it. The heavyweights stand around a little bit, push and shove. The lightweights move, foot fake. You're seeing a lot of body faking from Dalton Miller. Joey Palmer wants to get his offense going.
Miller with just 8 wins this season, although he did place 4th in the Pac-12 tourney last year. Looking for another late season push.
Now that shot, it was almost like he didn't want to be there. He's stuck underneath. Miller needs to keep turning his left hip down. Palmer's recovering. It's a good battle right here. Head's coming up. Palmer needs to clear the head. He needs to shove one knee over top. He's too content. He's going to get stalemated. That's a good technique by Dalton Miller. He locked over that arm. When you split the middle between the legs, you have a short amount of time to finish it. Otherwise, you get tangled up and locked out, and you get stalemated, which is what Dalton Miller was able to accomplish there.
We did not see Joey Palmer in our previous visit to Corvallis, Ken. That was a Bees loss to Boise State. They have not been defeated since. Palmer's been a big part of that.
Absolutely. Palmer came back from Midlands a little bit beat up, and a little bit overweight, and he wasn't ready for that Boise State duel. It might have costed them that dual meet. I mean, the Border Axe battle that we had, our first ever live telecast on the Pac-12 network, Boise State took home the Border Axe. And part of it was because the Oregon State got pinned at 125.
Inside a minute to go in our first period between these 125s. And a 2-point takedown for Oregon State and Joey Palmer. He's got a 4-1 lead.
Nice level change, got right under there. Yeah, they have higher expectations for Dalton Miller. He's from Kansas. They recruited him. They're expected to develop him, and he's been inconsistent.
You mentioned Palmer a bit overweight coming back from an event earlier this year, and also the challenge of weighing in consecutive days. Ken, maybe you can address a little bit about what these wrestlers go through when they do have to wrestle back-to-back days.
Yeah, to be clear, it was more of a beat-up thing coming back from Midlands, but that when you're beat up and you can't train, it's hard to keep your weight.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep your weight down, and he's done well getting it down lately. But to your question, this is important. These back-to-back, we kind of talked about in the open briefly. Jim Zaleski wants to test his guys. He likes the back-to-back weigh-in. It prepares you for NCAAs. Dual meets are a much different environment than the NCAA tournament. It's a multi-day, multi-weigh-in event. So this is an important opportunity for Oregon State to wrestle back-to-back and make weight twice in a row. Good ride out by Joey Palmer from Oregon State. You know, Dalton Miller tried a couple moves, but Joey Palmer slowed him down and made him stop. Here you go, return to the mat, pops the hips, little Granby on the way down, but Joey Palmer stays with the problem. Dalton Miller's going to have to hit that more explosively. If you're going to start flipping through the air, you can't do it 3/4 speed. You got to launch. I like to call it the ninja flip. You got to do it like the energy of a ninja when you fly through the air, and that was just too slow.
Palmer will begin the second on bottom, looking for a quick escape point here. A return to the mat by Miller. Thought he had a look at some near fall points. Our Scott Hall referee gave 1 counts with the hand, and now 2 for the takedown.
Nice scramble by Palmer. He's just 1 step ahead of Dalton Miller.
Pretty encouraging sign for the freshman from Covington, Washington, to bounce back from a overtime bout last night and jump out to a 6-1 lead here.
Yeah, he's getting to it right here. He's looking at a major. He's pushing the pace. I mean, Dalton Miller's wrestling hard, but Joey Palmer's just 1 step ahead. He's looking for back points maybe. He's cutting him loose. He's going to try to whip him over, but now we're neutral. Now he's just looking for anything. He'll just take anything and get. There's a couple moves you can do from there. You can whip him to his back. You can pull him down. You go behind. Right now, Dalton Miller's slowing down Joey Palmer. That was nice job by Dalton Miller. Wow, if he could circle him in, he's not going to, but that was an awesome move by Dalton Miller from Arizona State. I think he's going to get at least 2 takedown and 2 back.
You are correct. Near fall points will tie it up at 6. There is 1:23 in riding time in Palmer's favor at the moment.
That was a nice headlock. Good comeback. Dalton Miller right back in the match. Very important 30 seconds here, JB. Oh, nice hip heist. Let's see if he's got a second move or some hand control. He's doing a little bit of both. Dalton Miller's hanging tough. This is a really critical stanza in a close match. These 20 seconds, the 1 point can make a big difference. Dalton Miller's basically just stalling here, holding on, but that's what he's got to do. Joey Palmer needs this knee slide. He needs to get the back pressure, get to his feet. He's stopping. Surprising. Good job by Dalton Miller.
Not only is he able to hold on, he also erases the point of riding time that was previously in Palmer's advantage.
Look at this. He goes from a whizzer to a headlock right there. Sags the hip. If he could have just got a little tighter and lifted the head up quicker, he would have been in business for more back points and a pin. That was a great move. Good for 4 points. Puts him right back in the match.
Now Miller to the bottom to begin our third, and Palmer going to try and build that riding time back up in a 6-6 bounce.
I expected this to be a good bout. It looked like Palmer was running away a little bit, but Dalton Miller's right back in it. He was looking for that Granby again. Now we're getting 1 minute riding time here. Right now, Joey Palmer from Oregon State has 1 minute advantage. So should the match end like this, he would get the extra point.
How does that change Miller's strategy on bottom?
Well, it doesn't change. He's got to get out fast no matter what. But it definitely changes Palmer's strategy on top a little bit. He's going to ride him for as long as he can. He wants to keep that riding time. As long as he doesn't get one for stalling, I think Dalton Miller's going to get out of here. He decides to let him go. No, that was good. Right when he gets away, that's the 1 and 2 strategy. Right away, you get away, the guy relaxes a little bit, which Palmer did. Dalton Miller, oh, that was great funk. Excellent move by Joey Palmer from Oregon State. Refunk by Miller. We got a great go right here. Who's going to win this scramble? Dalton Miller's got to get to a double. He's got to drive towards us. He's got to cut, drive right. He's got him. Wow, that would be 2. He's got the Turk in. I might have...
They wiped it off.
I might have called control there when he hit and he had a Turk in. It was close, very close. Now Dalton Miller's stopping. Dalton Miller's from Arizona State's got to recover position. You never want to just lay there. If in doubt, always keep driving. Here we go, here we go. Oh, wow, this is some good wrestling. Arizona State's got to get the angle. He's got to keep coming backside. He's looking for that far leg. He's almost got it. I think he's going to finish. I don't think Palmer's got a trick. Oh, he got his ankle free. Good hips by Joey Palmer. There's the Turk. He's trying to funk him. Nobody's in control yet. You see the referee saying nobody's in control.
Final 10 seconds.
Great scramble.
Palmer gets it. And the crowd here at Gill goes nuts. A late burst from Joey Palmer to win for the second time in less than 24 hours. And what a turn of the tide there is Dalton Miller, we thought, might have had the winning points about midway through that third period.
Yeah, that was good wrestling. I'd like to see 10 bouts like that. That's exciting. It's a good way to kick in the intermission. Some boost. Hopefully these teams will come out ready to fire it up and ready to wrestle.
All right, so 17-4 our score in favor of the Beavs. Number 3, Mike Mangrum still to come in the second half of this duel. Here at Gill Coliseum, the Oregon State Beavers trying to keep their 7-duel winning streak alive. They have a 17-4 lead over ASU, and Ken, part of the reason why is because Joey Palmer has now rallied for come-from-behind decisions twice in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, he's a great scrambler. That's some awesome wrestling, man. Palmer really keeps battling, never stops moving. Constantly, you see Dalton Miller trying to score, but Palmer says, no, I'm going to get my hips higher than yours. I'm going to come out on top. And here, look at this, how he follows the standing Granby, throws him right back down. Very agile. Here's another good scramble where he funks, prevents the takedown, ends up coming out on top for the close victory.
So Oregon State has to feel pretty good about where they stand, up 17-4, and now they get into the heart of their lineup. We'll see 133 and 141 next.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing these lightweights go at it. Particularly looking forward to Mike Mangrum. He's dynamic, one of the all-time leading winners in Oregon State history, and he's just a beast. And then Scott Sakaguchi is very quick on his feet, nimble. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing some great wrestling from Oregon State here in these next few bouts.
Credit Kevin Radford with the only win of the day so far for the Sun Devils. They're going to try and rally in the second half of this duel as well. OSU looking for its 7th consecutive win over ASU. Pac-12 wrestling continues next from Corvallis. Wrapping up intermission, it's a 17-4 lead for the Oregon State Beavers over the ASU Sun Devils. 133s will be next. But first, a reminder that tomorrow it's a full day of hoops. The action tips off with a stacked women's doubleheader at 12. Oregon State fans can see their Beavers battle Utah. Then at 2, ASU fans can travel to Maples Pavilion, where the Sun Devils look to upset the heavily favored Cardinal. Then at 4, the men's doubleheader takes center stage. Alan Crabb leads Cal against Mark Lyons and the top 10 Wildcats. Then at 6, Lamar Hurd and I will be here at Gill Coliseum as Colorado spars with the OSU Beavers. Live coverage starts tomorrow at 12, wraps up right back here at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis on the Pac-12 networks. Ken, I'm nearly a resident here in Corvallis. Can't run for office just yet, but I'm closing in on a library card.
A lot of Pac-12 sports here.
It's great to be here in Corvallis for wrestling and basketball, and looking forward to the spring sports as well. Van Anrooy and Carpio, the matchup here at 133. Drew Van Anrooy, 15 wins for Oregon State. Aries Carpio, a freshman from Federal Way, Washington, for ASU.
Yeah, that was a really well-executed technique by Oregon State. He had the 2-on-1, he had it locked out, he pressured in nicely, and they pulled it down. The timing was good, the technique was good, just a really clean technique. A lot of people refer to that as a Russian 2-on-1. He specifically locked it out like famous Olympic champion Sergei Beloglosov would do, and that's just a really high percentage good technique.
Can you guys ever say it's not wrestling, it's not rocket science, it's wrestling? Is that an expression you guys ever use? Because I think Van Anrooy could be a rocket scientist.
He's a smart guy.
He's bioengineering as a freshman, valedictorian at Roseburg High School here in Oregon. So he might be able to pull off both.
Super, yeah, and we do make that analogy jokingly. It truly isn't rocket science. I mean, there's some pretty basic moves that work most of the time. You just got to perfect your setups, perfect your finishes, perfect your physical conditioning and strength.
Just a minute into this first period, Van Anrooy, the redshirt freshman, with a 2-0 lead. He accepted a forfeit at 133 last night against Cal Poly.
Yeah, he's come to wrestle. He came out real physical, took charge right away. Very, very impressive domination so far. Now he's going to have to decide if he's going to keep working on top or if he's going to go back up on his feet. He got that takedown pretty easy. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back on his feet.
Sun Devil Carpio, following the loss of NCAA qualifier Shane McGough, he's been thrown in the fire here as a freshman in this weight class.
Yeah, he could get down to 125 if he needed to, but Dalton Miller's got the edge on him. So, yes, as you say, thrown to the fire. Same thing with the first wrestler we saw from Arizona State, Rush Hall from Alabama. He's in over his head, up away, really got dominated. It's not looking good. He's not getting much going on bottom at all. He's just really getting that arm worked over. I know it doesn't look like much, but that takes its toll on your shoulder. Arizona State's right shoulder's got to hurt bad. Now, Oregon State's close to pulling a pinning combination, but the referee calls a stalemate. We're going to get a fresh start.
Scott Hall is our referee today. Also handled last night's duel between Cal Poly and Oregon State. You were chatting with him before the match. I guess he's also had some NCAA experience, so congratulations to him for earning that nod. Yeah, he made the NCAAs last year. He's on the circuit. He's one of the most committed officials in Oregon. This summer at camp at Southern Oregon University, I saw him there. He was officiating the dual meet camp there. It was, part of my camp there. It was a combination, and he was really committed to the education of the officials and the wrestlers and coaches as far as the rule changes, the details. Quite serious, as you know. He grabbed my ear for quite a while. Oh, this could be the end, JB. This is the snake. He's changed the armbar to a snake. It's looking very tight. Near fall points being counted off. Can Drew Van Anrooy finish? Yes, he can. A first period fall. Bullied him over, lifts the head, settles. See how he settles his hips down, gets the fall. Big points for the Beavs again. Already a tech fall, a forfeit, and now that pin to take a 23-4 advantage over ASU. The Sun Devils only win, a major one by Kevin Radford at 184. Well, JB, there was your head slap that you wanted to discuss. Mangrum likes to get fired up. He likes Jim Zaleski to smack him around a little bit. And there you saw it as he comes on the mat. Let's see if it works. At 141, I asked the third-ranked wrestler in this class after last night's win, actually, where that tradition came from. He said his father, Carl, who wrestled at Washington, actually started it, slapped him on the head. Got him fired up. He's done well ever since. It's become a bit of a superstition for him. Yeah, I bet you his dad hits him a lot harder than Coach Zaleski. Coach Zaleski looks like he's just carrying on the tradition, but I'll bet you as a young wrestler, there's a beautiful headlock. That was awesome. That's the second headlock we've seen in the match.
Mangrum is so explosive, and he has a lot of Greco-Roman and freestyle experience. He's a devoted USA wrestler. He's on the USA Wrestling Circuit. Washington and Oregon and California, they all have great USA Wrestling organizations where you see more headlocks, and that was a nice one.
Head coach for Arizona State getting a look at his 141, Matt Kraus, freshman from Missouri.
Yeah, it could be a long afternoon for Kraus. Hey, with Mangrum's headlock, though, that was exciting and explosive. You don't see a lot of that at the college level, but he's got a full repertoire of offense. You young wrestlers out there that want to develop your skills to the fullest, when the winter season ends, do freestyle and Greco. It is so good for you. Personally, for me, I played 3 sports throughout junior high and high school. Folk style wrestling, freestyle, and Greco. Those are the 3. So I gave up baseball and football and all the others to focus on wrestling. And a lot of these college wrestlers do that. If they want to get to the top, they focus on their wrestling. What you're seeing there is the ball and chain tilt, very effectively done, very easily done too. He might roll. No, he's going to let go for something different. He's going to mix it up. Let's see. Let's have some fun, watch some good wrestling.
So 3 near fall points for Mangrum, and the escape for Kraus, his first tally.
He might go headlock again. Can't tell if he's looking slide by or headlock. I'll tell you, that headlock came quick out of nowhere. That really got the fans excited.
Mangrum celebrated senior night last night with the rest of his class. 4 years of 30 or more victories have given him 171 career wins here at Oregon State, tied for 6th all-time with Jeff Cardwell, father of current OSU wrestler Zach. And 7 more wins to tie the legendary Les Gutches for Mike Mangrum. How about that?
Yeah, Les Gutches, Oregon legend, 3-time state champ here, I believe, in Oregon. Went on to win NCAAs here for Oregon State multiple times. That was a nice leg attack. Gutches would be proud. Les did the preview show for the Pac-12 Network earlier in the year. You can see it on our Pac-12 Network webpage. You can also see the dual meet between Oregon State and Boise State, one of the top dual meets in college wrestling this season. The whole dual meet in its entirety is on the Pac-12 Network website. You can check it out. You can also check out Coach Gutches and his preview show.
Pac-12.com, the place to go. One more time, pac-12.com, in case you'd like to bookmark it as we wrap up this first period. Mangrum in front.
You know, I was talking about USA Wrestling and the success of some of these wrestlers who do it year-round. Les Gutches is one of the executive coaches at USA Wrestling now. Great leader, does a super job for them. Here comes the headlock. Left-handed, too. That was so explosive. Look at the studs up there. From Robin Reed back in the olden days to Les Gutches in the Hall of Fame. Looking lean and mean. Les has considerably less hair than that now, JB. You might notice him when you watch on the webpage.
I notice we're all heading in that direction. He's not alone. He's got good company there. Talking with Mike after last night's win, it was a pin at 6:33 over Cal Poly. I asked him about being ranked number 3, how he feels about his chances at NCAAs. His comment was interesting. He says, it's going to take their best, meeting his competition, to beat me because I'm wrestling my best as a senior.
Yeah, he's got the right attitude, and he's ready to go. He's excited about it. He's a really intense competitor. I mean, he's been successful all his life. Should be an interesting setup. If he's number 3, and Stieber from Ohio State's number 2, if they both wrestle well at NCAAs, they could meet in the semis. That would be a great match. Stieber beat him in a close match at Las Vegas earlier this year. Oh, there's the left-handed headlock again.
Almost identical to the one we saw earlier.
Yeah, except this one he settled his hip quicker. He's probably going to finish and pin him. He's got to lift the head off the impressive effort by Arizona State. That's hard to do. I didn't expect him to do that. Wow.
So a near fall, 3 points for Mangrum, and then Kraus turns it around on him.
Yeah, but finishing the thought, Oklahoma is coming to town next Sunday. I've mentioned this a couple times, the NWCA National Duels. And Kendrick Maple is the number 1 ranked 141-pounder in the country. And I'm sure Mangrum is studying tape. You see Jim Zaleski and Kevin Roberts, one of his assistants, looking on together. I guarantee you, they have spent time analyzing what Mangrum has to do to defeat Stieber, Kendrick Maple, and the other top guys in that weight class, because in this day of video study, it's so critical that you're prepared, and all the details matter at the highest level.
Both those number 1 and number 2 ranked competitors that you've mentioned were semifinalists a season ago. Mangrum, the reigning Pac-12 champ, earned his first All-American honor, finishing 5th, and he gets 3 more near-fall points.
Wow, that was some great wrestling by Arizona State. He comes out of this headlock, very nearly got pinned but he jumps over the top of him. Beautiful roll through, and then he gets on top and scores back points. I guarantee you Mike Mangrum is not happy, and you see it right now in the live action. He's going for the quick reversal. He went from nearly pinning and tech falling his opponent to getting turned to his back, to getting reversed and turned. So now this should be an exciting minute and 40 seconds. Let's see what kind of energy Mangrum has these last minutes. Power half. Got to suck the shoulder back. I hear somebody in the crowd yelling banana splits. He's going for the guillotine possibly. Well, Matt Kraus has just got to struggle for survival here.
Kraus won a 6-5 decision last time on the mat in Ames, riding some confidence and showing some good fight not to let Mangrum run away with this one.
He is, truly is. Now you're seeing that figure 4 leg lock that we saw earlier by Oregon State. Cody Weishoff started the match off, but wow, oh, Mangrum was on his butt. Now he's going for the roll through guillotine. Little scramble. He's got the wrist now. He's going to go for the roll through possibly. Now he gave it up. So many options. When you get the legs in, you have many, many options. Right now, Mangrum's only winning by 7. He went from throwing 2 headlocks and almost pinning his opponent to only winning by 7.
Does have a potential riding time point coming in his favor, 1:30 in his direction with 30 seconds to go in the final period.
Well, Matt Kraus has performed admirably. For a young wrestler with not an overwhelming record, he's fought hard and held his own. That's potentially dangerous. They got to stop that. Ref's right on it. Makes my shoulder hurt just looking at it.
You and me both.
Mangrum needs a takedown here to get a major. That's why I let him go. He's got 10 seconds to get a takedown. I think he might get it. Let's see if he can get it. Nope. Not yet. He's looking for another headlock. Slide by maybe. Nope.
Horn sounds, and he'll have to settle for a 13-bout winning streak. His 31st victory of the season, the 3-time NCAA participant Mike Mangrum, perhaps looking for his best showing of his career.
Honorable performance by Arizona State, though.
Looking forward to seeing him this March, both at the Pac-12 tournaments and the NCAAs as well. Next at 149, Scott Sakaguchi puts his top 10 ranking on the line. OSU in control here, 26-4, their lead. Three bouts remaining here at Gill Coliseum. The Beavers in a commanding 26-4 driver's seat over ASU. Basketball fans, we'd like to remind you that every Monday at 9 p.m. it's appointment television, Pac-12 Playbook. You got to see it. Mikey M., Don McClain, Ernie Kent, Drew Schiller. They do a great job looking back at the week that was and previewing the week ahead. And as we come down the home stretch in men's basketball, you got to tune in to Pac-12 Playbook every Monday at 9. Back here in Corvallis, we're at 149. Preston MacColmon for Arizona State looking for his first win. He's a redshirt freshman for Arizona State. And Scott Sakaguchi, a top 10 ranking for OSU.
Yes, I like watching Sakaguchi. Quick on his feet, slick, changes directions really well.
Sakaguchi followed up Mangrum's pin last night with a fall of his own against Cal Poly, just 2:42 into that bout to earn his 20th win of the season.
Yeah, they made quick work of Cal Poly. But thinking back to the Boise State duel here that you saw on television, it went overtime with Boise State. That was a great matchup.
Sakaguchi wrestled through injury that day, if I'm not mistaken, trying to get his team a dual win. They fell to the Broncos, but that's their last team loss. They've rattled off 7 straight victories in the duel since.
Yeah, good motion by Sakaguchi. I'd say that duel meet was a wake-up call. You know, in the long run, that'll help Oregon State. I'm sure the coaches used it to motivate and train their athletes to get more out of them. In Oregon State's defense, they were coming off the Midlands and they were still recovering perhaps. And Boise State came in ready to rumble and got the job done. And they have a great balanced dual meet team, Boise State that is, as does Oregon State. Although they have some really good star power to score big at the NCAAs. This could be one of the best performances at the NCAAs by an Oregon State or Pac-12 team in a long time. Oregon State's got 5 legitimate point scorers at the national level, maybe more. So it could be an exciting NCAA tournament for Oregon State.
Midway through our first period, still scoreless. Preston MacColmon for ASU is filling in for an injured Nathan Hoffer. He was one of just 3 Pac-12 freshman to advance to the NCAAs last season. MacColmon's out of Lafayette, Georgia.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him today, but he's holding his own. I mean, he's gone 2 minutes even. I'm very impressed with Arizona State here. I don't think it'll last very long at this, keeping it close, but so far so good for ASU.
I think Sakaguchi is kind of feeling out his opponent in the first meeting between these two.
Perhaps a little bit, or Arizona State's just really being defensive, a little bit of both.
Beavers get the first takedown and a 2-0 lead. 45 seconds left in the first.
He definitely made his mind up right there that he wanted to score, and that's a nice move. But that's a go-to move for him. Underhook defense to an ankle pick. Seen him do that multiple times in studying his matches, and it's a great move.
Sakaguchi will look to defend his Pac-12 championship in this weight class in a couple of weeks. Ken, you'll be down in the desert to see that one.
Looking forward to it, yes. The first Saturday in March 3rd, is the Pac-12 Finals. We're going to broadcast that from Arizona State. It's going to be some exciting action. Definitely mark your calendar for Saturday, March 3rd. Nice bow and arrow. This is an illegal high school move. It's very powerful. It could damage the lower back, but it's legal in college. And it's commonly referred to as the bow and arrow because of the action, the way you're bowing his back. There's the underhook to a cross ankle pick. Really well done. He changes to a double. Good chain wrestling, flowing from one move to another. Nicely done by Scott Sakaguchi from Oregon State.
ASU had the choice. MacColmon deferred, and Sakaguchi will go on bottom to start the second.
Yeah, he's going to get away quick here. He's got good balance, got the hands off him. Now let's see if he goes right to work quick. See if he keeps that right underhook. I wonder if he'll go for the ankle pick again. It's a little different position than last time. Neither wrestler looks particularly happy there. So they're both kind of breaking free. We're seeing a new tie. Look for Sakaguchi to pick up the pace here. I'm sure he's not satisfied with 3-0. He needs to get it going. And this is a good test for him to wrestle on back-to-back days and make the weight. He can't just have a stand-around, low-scoring match. He needs to open up and get his offense going. JB must have heard me. He's got a near-side cradle locked up. If he could tighten it up, it could be dangerous for Arizona State. You see his hands underneath. You can see them locked up. He needs to pinch his elbows together. He needs to drive the head down. Arizona State's doing a good job of defending. He's flattening out, straightening his back. Sakaguchi needs to pinch his elbows together more. If he flies over the top to his right hip, he might be able to get a count, kind of like Arizona State did earlier in the match, Kevin Radford's cradle. But, boy, Arizona State's fighting hard here. I think he's going to break free there.
Can you hear so much advice being shouted out from the respective sidelines, and especially Jim Zaleski and his Oregon State crew? How much of that as a wrestler can you really hear, interpret, and act upon?
Well, if Jim Zaleski and Coach Steiner over there were yelling at me, I'd listen. You can hear what the coaches are saying. Now, if they really make their mind up, they're kind of soft-spoken in general, but when they decide to speak up, I know their wrestlers hear them and listen to them. As far as the fan banter that you're also referring to, you don't hear that so much. You're focused. You can only focus on one or two pieces of feedback, and those feedbacks are coming from your coaches.
You're right, though. You're getting pretty sound advice from experienced coaches and also talented wrestlers themselves in their own day. Zaleski, a 4-time All-American at Iowa. I actually heard yesterday that Troy Steiner's being inducted into the Iowa Hall of Fame. He was a 4-time All-American there as well and a 92 national champion.
Yeah, Troy and Terry Steiner were legends and very popular at Iowa. They were two of the toughest ever on top at Iowa. Now, Zaleski, he's about 5 years older than me. So when I was in high school, every year you see Jim there in that super successful bio. As an athlete, you see his coaching bio there, but as an athlete, he was a hammer. One of my favorite competitors. He had a good head outside shot, which nobody could stop, and he put the legs in and torture people. So as I was going through high school and driving across the country to watch the NCAA championships with my parents, I watched Jim Zaleski. He was one of my favorites. He was a grinder.
Another 2-point takedown for Oregon State and Sakaguchi. And if I'm not mistaken, Zaleski just missed joining you on the '88 Olympic team, didn't he?
Jim was in the hunt. Kenny Monday was my teammate at that weight class, and he's one phenomenal athlete. Dave Schultz was the alternate. That was one of the greatest Olympic trial matches in history, Monday versus Schultz. That's some exciting stuff. So Jim was right in the thick of things there. To Jim's credit, he was a great folk styler, and he tried freestyle and did well. But Kenny Monday and Dave Schultz are two of the best ever, both two of our Olympic champions. Dave Schultz is a California boy. Grew up in the Palo Alto area near Stanford. Was picking people's brains at a young age. Phenomenal wrestler. The late, great Dave Schultz, one of my mentors. I learned a lot of wrestling from Dave. There's a movie coming out. Fox Catcher, the movie is coming out about his life. He's going to be played by Mark Ruffalo, and his brother Mark will be played by Channing Tatum. So we're excited to have a big wrestling movie coming out.
How's the movie on your life coming?
It's non-existent. It's not as exciting as Dave Schultz's life.
They didn't like my script or what? I sent it to all the big-time Hollywood movie execs.
I just don't have the charisma of Dave Schultz.
I dispute that.
So Dave Schultz was a legend, and truly, and the reason the movie, part of the reason the movie, he was murdered tragically, most wrestling fans know, and by the crazy John DuPont. So they're going to tell the story of Dave's life and the tragedy that occurred. Ironically, John DuPont is going to be played by Steve Carell. Usually Carell plays, funny guys, but in this case, he's going to be playing the character of the eccentric John DuPont.
Just to finish the thought on Jim Zaleski and what he's done here with the Beavs. He's already mentored 6 All-Americans, 11 conference champs in Corvallis. That includes Scott Sakaguchi here, who's well on his way to his 21st win of the year.
Yeah, Zaleski's done a great job. He was the NCAA championship coach at the University of Iowa.
At 149, it goes to the Beavs. Sakaguchi defends his top 10 national ranking.
I expected him to put on more of a clinic. He didn't even get the major. Arizona State staying in there and fighting.
Two bouts remaining at the individual level as Oregon State wraps up its final home duel of the season, and we move ahead to 157. Joel Smith takes on another top 10 Beaver, R.J. Pena, 27-3 on the season.
This could be an exciting one. Both these guys got some explosions of fighting them.
Pena picked up a major decision to round out the 50-0 shutout, the team sweep of Cal Poly less than 24 hours ago. He's a 2-time NCAA participant, reigning Pac-12 champion at 157 as well.
Yeah, he's looking to step it up, not just at the Pac-12s, but to get the job done at NCAAs and get high on that podium, and he's looking to peak. This is an exciting time for Oregon State wrestling. They have a great dual meet team as well as some really explosive individuals that can place high at NCAAs.
Joel Smith at 6-6 got the nod at Iowa State last week, was a 6-0 winner. Back to his natural weight class here at 157 after a couple of weeks at 165. Pena with the first 2.
And that was well done. Nice level change, cut the corner, got the other ankle. Smith has got to get on his offense. The more you're in on his legs, the less he's on yours. Smith has great leg attacks, and he didn't get him going in that first minute.
Smith, the 2-time state champion at Collins Hill High School, Lawrenceville, Georgia, where he calls home. An escape point there.
Woohoo! Nice low single. That was slick level change by Sakaguchi.
And 2 more for his second takedown of the bout.
Sakaguchi is done wrestling, JB. We've moved on to Pena, obviously. Both those guys are slick with low singles. Sakaguchi didn't create the offense that Pena has. Pena's got 2 takedowns in the first minute 30. Really nicely done.
Pena, like Sakaguchi, both junior captains. 5 Beaver captains for Jim Zaleski. A lot of great leadership in that locker room.
Yeah, that's kind of a unique situation. Great recruiting class, great leadership, and they've all panned out for the most part. I've noticed Oregon State working this near wrist hold numerous times. They haven't really got many back points or any possibly out of it, but they're definitely riding hard on that near wrist. They're getting pressure. It takes the toll on the bottom man. I mean, you're eating a lot of Resolite, your shoulder hurts, it tires you out. So even though you're not seeing much scoring, it grinds on you.
Nearing the edge of the circle, and they'll go back to center. 4-1 Pena's advantage, 43 seconds to go in the first.
By doing that ride, it enables him to wear out his opponent. Now, it'll be interesting to see if he grinds on him now for 45 more seconds or if he goes for another takedown. False start there. Somebody jumped the gun a little bit. It looked almost like he was going to let him go. They're struggling here. He's called the ref saying it's on himself. I'm not sure what's going on.
Third time's a charm as we resume. 43 seconds to go in the first.
Okay, Pena decides he wants to keep him down. He goes from the head lever to the chicken wing armbar. He's trying to decide what to do with his right hand. He's got the wrist. He's going to run a traditional armbar. Now he's got the half. Oh, he's got time to pin him. He's driving forward. He's got the far wrist. He's got the half. He's got to jump to the side. Good job by Arizona State. He's going to be able to survive this period. Oh, that's hurt. This is going to take its toll on Smith from Arizona State. He's going to go to his back, but he's not going to get pinned.
Or will he?
He quit. Wow.
With 2 seconds remaining in the first, R.J. Pena earns the fall.
The Arizona State coaches are not pleased with that. You should be able to fight off your back longer than that. There was 3 seconds left when he got rolled over.
So it's a 36-4 lead for the Beavs. Final bout of the afternoon is at 165 next. Ray Waters and Seth Thomas. Back in Corvallis for the final individual bout of the day. Oregon State in firm control, 36-4, and now we'll see the 165s. A freshman for Arizona State, Ray Waters, looking for his first collegiate win against Seth Thomas, 16-4 in his redshirt freshman season for OSU.
Could be a good one here. Both guys are looking like they're ready to scrap, getting after it. Waters has set the tempo. Nice effort by Oregon State, looking for a little inside trip action.
Thomas earned a quick pin last night against Cal Poly to jumpstart the Beavers' dominant effort. It's been that way again here today, looking for their second dual win in the Pac-12 in as many days. Thomas needed just 106 to dispatch Connor King.
A lot of head fighting going on. Both of them are forehead to forehead, blocking. There was a nice elbow pass. Oregon State wants to keep hands on him. Meanwhile, Arizona State needs to get his feet moving and get his quick shots off.
Waters is originally from Chicago. Went to prep school in Nevada, undefeated, 54-0 as a senior. Become the state champion, Nevada State Wrestler of the Year. Spring Valley High School.
Both guys are blocking with their heads and really staying straight on. There was a nice duck under. There was a good lateral drop. That was awesome flurry.
First takedown awarded to Ray Waters.
Wow, a nice lateral drop. I was just teaching that this morning. I did a kids clinic. Some of those little wild men that you saw in the stands earlier were in this clinic this morning. Lateral drop, great move, exciting stuff. One of the moves I enjoy teaching a lot. It's fun, kids like it.
ASU's only team points on the day came at 184. Kevin Radford with a major decision, 19-9 over Brian Engdahl. Waters looking to finish the day strong for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, in that 184 match, Ty Vincent, Oregon State's regular 184, they decided to hold back just to play it safe. So the Oregon State definitely had a dominating weekend.
1 point for the escape there. Thomas is on the board.
Whacked him hard in the head. A little powerful head snap. Let's see if Thomas goes back to that duck. It really was a good duck, but impressively, Arizona State came up with a lateral drop out of it. Oh, now we're going upper body. He's got the double hooks. He could try to throw it by or possibly foot sweep him. He was trying for the head snap. Throw by effort. Now we're up. This could be good. Both these guys can throw. Oh.
Two for the takedown. Thomas looking for more. Near fall points being counted out. He's got the pin to wrap it up. Seth Thomas with his second fall in as many nights, and the Beavers run away from Arizona State.
Wow, that was sweet throw. Standing snake, back arched him. Like, Arizona State's got to do better here and get out of bounds. Boy, that looks tight. He's done.
So in 24 hours, how about a combined score of 92-4? Oregon State, dual winners over Cal Poly and Arizona State. They put together 8 consecutive team wins. Here are the individual final results of this 42-4 victory. It started at 174. Cody Weishoff got a tech fall. Seth Thomas at 165 wrapped it up with a pin.
Very impressive performance this weekend by Oregon State. Up and down their lineup. They're looking forward to the regional national duels next weekend here in Corvallis, and they got some momentum rolling.
A reminder that the first Saturday in March, we will have the Pac-12 championships for you here on the Pac-12 networks. Bring it to you live from Tempe, Arizona. Ken Chertow, it's been a pleasure working with you this wrestling season. Best of luck at the championship tournament. For Ken, our producer Scott Ferrier, our director Mike Odino, I'm JB Long. Thank you for being with us for Pac-12 Wrestling. A reminder that there's a basketball doubleheader coming your way this evening. Utah at Oregon, Washington State, UCLA as well. For now, from Corvallis, have a great rest of your weekend.